Morning, well, it's Hippy Trev here. So it's part two on building the low loader, or what the US people over in the States call a low boy. Here in Australia we just call them a low loader. So this is part two. Roll the intro. Hi, Hippy Trev here, and welcome to my channel. Hope you get something out of it. So all the white parts are painted. So they're my frame rails. I've made them look a bit old and cruddy, just to make them look like it's done a bit of work. That's the top decking. That's the ramp coming up to the decking. There are all the wheels there. I painted them with silver, and actually I painted them red, then I threw some silver over them and then rubbed the silver off to give the red and silver look, so they've had a bit of wear on them. A bit more decking. Mostly the suspension and air brake parts, rims, lockdowns, caps, kingpin. That's the suspension and the air brakes. Some more railings, and then just some more other bits and pieces to put the model together. So I won't film me putting it all together. That's all pretty boring. But I might do is show you as I do some build stages. Now, the first thing on the instructions tell me to put my rims and wheels and tyres together and put my suspension together. But what I might start with is the frame rails, because that can be a pain in the ass. So what I've got to do is I've got to glue all these bits on in the right place and let them sit for like a day before I glue this section on and make it all straight and secure. So I might start with the frame of the main deck first, and then while I've got that curing, I'll go back and I will do all the wheels. And this is all the main suspension here, and suspension there. This is all pretty much suspension. So like I said, what I'll do, I might just start on the frame rails first, put all that together and get the first side done and just let it sit and cure. I remember putting the gravel trailer together, and that was actually a goddamn nightmare, lining up them rails. And yeah, the more I tried to straighten and play with it, the worse it just got. So I think I'll just start with that first, let it sit. That's the big thing to learn with models, is curing time. Let your glue cure before you try and go and attach other things, and that way it gets to set in place properly. So alright, well, I'll get back to you later when I'm part way through assembly. Later. And here we are. I haven't started the bogies or the axles yet, so this is where you join all your cross bracings to one side of the frame first, and now you just let the bastard sit there. You do not touch it, because if you try and move that around and attach the next side of that frame, that's the tail. I've only just glued that part together. So that's a little bit there that goes on that cross brace there. I haven't put that on yet, because otherwise if I start trying to do that now, everything's just going to jiggle around. So basically I've just got to let this sit for at least probably till tomorrow before I try and put this part of the frame together. Like basically that's just going to have to sit there. That's all I can do. It just stays there like that. Some of the lines aren't straight, I know, but when I go to join it together on the other side, I'll be able to straighten things up. So as tempting as it is to try and put that part on, don't do it. You've just got to let all that glue set and dry, and don't touch anything till probably, it's late in the day today. It's just gone after 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. I will not be touching that for the rest of the day. It can just sit there and it can just cure. But if I want to move on, I do have the axles and all that I can put together. I can put all the wheels and rims together if I want for the rest of the day. So anyway, that's stage one of part two. It basically says to put the wheels and axles together first, but basically I wanted to do that first before I started assembling anything else, because getting that together and all straight and lined up is one of the hardest jobs there is on putting this model together, or putting any trailer together. So rightio, well, it's another hour or so into it. So I've got the suspension and the rear wheels, suspension and all that sort of stuff all done. Yes, and it does look a bit dirty and grotty, but that's the idea. It's a low loader and it dozes around in shitty conditions. The rims are all together. I'm not... Oh, there one takes off. I'm not overly convinced I've got them right, but anyway, so I've got little gold centre caps, and they're all put together. So the next job for there is putting the tyres on. Done together pretty good, all this stuff here. Now, as you can see, it's not all dead straight and accurate, but that's all right. When I go to glue the next side on tomorrow, that's going to be the fun part, and that's when I really start tearing my hair out, because I'll have to try and get every glue spot joined together, and yeah, it's going to be a hell of a headache, and there's no way in the hell I'm going to film me doing that, because yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. So anyway, a little bit more of the model done on part 2. So rightio, I'll catch you later. Bye. Rightio world, so a little bit further on, and we've got the all the wheels and that done. Wheel, suspension and the brakes all went together pretty well. That's the way it goes. All the wheels roll when they touch the ground. That was pretty straightforward. Now the back of the drums in there where the axles go through weren't quite big enough, so I got my drill out with a very small, I don't know if you can see that, with that very small drill bit, and I drilled out the back of the drums for the axles, and that made them fit so much better. Just a couple of drills in each one, and that fitted perfectly. So now the next stage is, that's the frame. Well, that's with all the cross braces on it, and as you can see, they're not very straight. So the next stage is I've got to join. I've got to put this part on it, so that's got to be joined up to there, and as you can see, that doesn't look very good at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the back and glue, and I'm going to cable tie it together to hold it together. I'll put a bit of glue on this one here and maybe a bit of glue on this one here. The rest I'm going to leave unglued, and I'm going to try and put everything into position gently, and then I'm going to wrap some cable ties around it to hold it in place, and then I will glue all this section together. So that's the next part of the job, is to get that framework together. And then after that, I've got the ducktail to build where the wheels go, and yeah, see how we go. So rightio worlds, we're slowly getting there. It's so far it's been pretty good, but yeah, putting those frame rails together on that chassis is going to be a very interesting job using cable ties. So we'll catch you later when I've got the job done. Rightio world, so I've got the frame together as best I can with cable ties. It's not very straight, and it is all moving around a bit, trying to get it nice and straight. It is definitely moving around and a little bit out of square. A couple of things aren't quite right, but I'm just going to let that sit there and cure, and hopefully when it comes to like putting the main deck and everything on, I think that one goes up the top there. Hopefully when it comes to actually mounting all the main deck and everything on, in this model actually, it'll square itself up. But at the moment, that's as square and as good as I can get it using cable ties. I have moved around a couple of times, but the more I move it, the more unstable it becomes. So yes, this is the worst part of the model. I knew it was going to be, and as you can see, it's definitely not straight. It's completely unstraight. But I'm going to let that cure in position. I've still got the front section to put on, which I haven't done. I've still got the tail section to build, and that's where the wheels go down the back here on the tail section. So I'm just going to put that in the sun and let it cure. So anyway, that's literally as straight as I can get the frame at this stage, and when I start putting the decking and that together, I'm hoping that's when I can actually get it all nicely straightened up properly. At the moment it's still moving around, but yeah, the cable ties have certainly helped. Without them you'd never hold the thing together. So anyway, get back to you later when I get some more done. Rightio well, so we're up to the next stage of the model. I've got its tail section together. I've just glued the wheels on, front deck's on, tail section's on. I did have the floorboards on the back here, but they've since come off. I've got to re-glue them. And I've got my top deck here and a little bit of a deck there, and that's pretty much done. And I might put a license plate onto the rear. So I've just got the wheels all secured on. Mine's a bit dodgy, but so wheels and undercarriage now glued on, tail section's on. This is a separate section here that's gone on, and this section here hasn't turned out too bad considering how crooked it was. So still got the deck to put on. I've just got this sitting and gluing into place. Yep, this is the rear deck to go on. That's just going to go on there, like so. Just got a bit of a shuffle to do to get that into position. So, and I want to put this deck on first, this deck under here on, before I glue the last piece of the decking on here. It's also got its major kingpin there. That's what hooks it up to the, which is going to go into the fifth wheel of the truck. I nearly said fucking tractor. So that's the kingpin there, underneath the pegs. They get hooked into the fifth wheel on the back of the Peterbilt, which is there. So this one is almost complete. It's quite long, and I don't think it's going to fit on this shelf here without any. I don't think it's going to fit there actually. By the time I move the truck forward a bit, maybe. This is, as you can see, that is a very, very long model. Very long indeed. So anyway, worlds, I'll come back when I've got it all completed, all hooked up, and the dozer sitting on top. Later. Oh, rightio, Wells. That's the low loader done pretty much. I've just got a half a dozen, about 8 small hooks there to put on, but I'm done for today. So there it is. That's the dozer on the back of the low loader, sitting on the back of the Peterbilt. It's done. That's the low loader, bar some small hooks. They just have to go on the side there. They're the lash down hooks for the chains, which I don't have either. But pretty much that's it. That's the low loader done, sitting on the back of the Peterbilt. It is done. Yeah, it wasn't too bad a model. Had a few spots there that were a little bit iffy. So you just got to move this dozer across, sit more squarely. So yeah, at the end of the day, that's not too bad. The dozer's finally got a model, finally got a low load to sit on the back. I do at the end of the day. So there it is, sitting behind the back of the Peterbilt, pretty much done. Apart, like I said, from those a few hooks to go down, those lash down hooks. So I can put some railings up the front there and add some 44-gallon drums or some cable reels. I did actually get with this model. I might do that a bit later on. And yeah, just looks like it's more in transport. So the dozer's finally got a trailer to sit on, which is a low loader. It does take up a fair bit of room, as you can see. It's a rather large model. I've had to move some cars around. This Peterbilt's ended up back on this shelf. The bikes had to be moved around, and the Max ended up on this shelf up here. There's the American version of my boat, and the 2 Mustangs I've got, my cheap ass scales, and my little submarine there. So I am pretty much out of shelving room. So yep, there's my other 3 cars. Anyway, so that's pretty much it all done. I think my modelling career might have come to an end, because I've actually run out of shelving here in the bus, and there is really nowhere else to put up any more shelves for any more models. So I'd hate to think that is the end of it all, because I really do love building them. So, but anyway, worlds, that's the end of the low loader, or as the Americans call them, the low boy, with the dozer sitting on the back and hooked up onto the back of the Peterbilt. So rightio, worlds, catch you later. Keep your knees in the breeze. Stay safe. Bye.